This is Ryan here, and today I'm gonna review the Blackberry Classic. Yeah, baby. So I've been using this device for about a week and a half, and I have a lot of impression for you guys. And this is a full review, so let's get right into it. So with the design, Blackberry's design is one of my favorite, to be honest. The soft touch rubbery back to reassuring heft and stuff. I love it. So up front, let's take a look at the hardware. So up front, there is the BlackBerry logo with the earpiece and a front-facing camera that takes okay selfies. I don't take that much selfies anyway. And there's a hidden sensors, proximity sensors, and the ambient light sensors. And this bar is great. There, this is something that was missing in the BlackBerry Q10. That's was a real disappointment for me. So this is the call button, menu button, and the capacitive trackpad. I'll show you. I'll demonstrate it. So yeah, it works like that. It works great. And the back button and the quit button. And the most important thing about the Classic, the 35 key backlight keyboard. It's awesome. At first, it was a little cramped and stuff for me because my hands aren't that big, but I have pretty fat fingers, so it was a little cramped at first. But after about like 3 days, it was great. I got used to it. It's awesome. This chin is a little vulnerable to dents. That was kind of unfortunate for me. Even though I didn't drop it, there was a dent. And this metal frame makes the device feel really stupid premium, and I love it. On the left side, there isn't much except for the tray for the SIM card tray and the SD card tray. So SD card tray, great. It accepts cards up to 128 gigabytes. And you get the speaker, not speakers, because this one is just microphone, and this is the speaker, which I'm a little disappointed, but the sound quality is awesome. It's great. It's one of the better down-firing speakers, although I wish it was up here, or even here, to make it awesome. But of course, this is not the media-consuming centric device. Anyway, the charging port. On the left, there's two volume keys. It's flanked by the assistant key that will trigger when you long press it in any state. So you can voice command it all the time. Lower down the brightness a little bit. This makes it adequate. Yeah. And on the top, there's awesome headphone jack. The sound that comes out of this headphone jack is really, really good. It's really clear. I love it. It's definitely improvement from like every other device I used. And there's two noise cancellation microphones, and the top power button, which on larger devices I will be like really stupidly angry about. But this is a pretty compact phone, even though it's pretty big for a phone with a 3.5-inch display. Still adequately compact in my opinion. I've been using the Galaxy A7 for a bit, and that's a huge phone. But the power button location isn't as jarring as something like the Asus Zenfone 2, which has top power button and it's huge phone. And back is on the back there is 8 megapixel camera that records video in either 1080p at 30 frames per second or 720p at 60 frames per second. And LED flash and Classic logo. And I think it's made of glass. I don't know. Maybe plastic. And BlackBerry logo. Close up. So yeah, there is. Also, this rubbery texture on there is awesome. It's really, really good. If you can see the pattern. Oh, come on. Come on. Focus now. It doesn't want to focus. Maybe I'll just upload a picture about it. But the texture here is awesome, and when you're one-handing the phone and use the trackpad like this grippy texture is just really, really pleasant, and it doesn't slip around at all, like some other glass phones would. And back is not removable, even though you can disassemble it. I've done it, but it's like real pain in the ass. So yeah, there is that. So hardware-wise, thumbs up to BlackBerry, even though it's sort of an old school design. My friends were like, "What the hell? Are you carrying a BlackBerry?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were like shocked and stuff, because I'm usually an Android fan, but BlackBerry is just impressing me as well. So with the specs, I'll just briefly get into it. The phone has a Snapdragon S4 processor. It's dual core. I know it's very, very ancient. It's even less than the Nexus 4. Oh, that's kind of sad. But the optimization with the BlackBerry OS 10 is very good. It probably won't show in the camera, but the frame rate is smooth as butter. Everything, I can't get it to lag that much, considering that it has Snapdragon S4, but it's definitely slower than even something like the BlackBerry Passport, which has Snapdragon 801 processor. I at least wish this device had like something like Snapdragon 600, considering its price. Even though it's cheaper now, specs are a little sad. But thankfully it has 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage that you can expand by using something like this pin tool. So you can get something like this and gently push on it and get to expand your storage. Okay, that's awesome for storing photos and videos and some kind of documents and stuff. Oh crap. And also has 8 megapixel camera I showed you earlier, and 2500 mAh battery that is actually pretty consistent, and it has awesome standby time and pretty good usage time as well, considering that you probably won't play that much games on here. But regardless, let's get into software, which is the biggest part of my challenge. Considering that I'm an Android fan, this BlackBerry OS, at first it was jarring, definitely jarring, and it was a little hard to get around everything. But after a week, I'm pretty much used to it, and I'm now actually loving it. I love having like a lot of toggles here, like Android, and it doesn't really limit you and be like a prison on iOS or stuff. And the responsiveness, I said, is awesome, and BlackBerry Hub, which you can access like that, is actually better than I thought. I thought it was, isn't it a stupid gimmick or something like Samsung has? Well, it's totally not. It's an awesome service that you can use to aggregate all the stuff. You can also manage which thing goes on there, and I changed it a little bit to make it hub, priority hub, text messages, Gmail, notifications, BBM and pin messages. I don't know what that is, so I don't use it. Also, you can rearrange all the stuff. While I don't use every other stuff like this, I use the hub to catch up on messages and tweets and stuff. So that's great. Also, oh, I forgot about the gestures. Gestures are really important in BlackBerry OS. So you can swipe up like that to turn on. Also, if you set it down the table and lift it up, screen will turn on. And you can also put it down like that, face down, and it will sleep. And also, you can also press on the physical keyboard. You can do it in succession. You enter, and it will turn on. It's awesome. Also, I like having the consistent call button here. It's awesome. Definitely one thing I really think is awesome. Also, the quit button. When you're in an app, say Clock app or pretty much any other app, you can also close the app like this by swiping up. Sometimes it's a little finicky. You can go like that. And BlackBerry apps, will also act as a widget when you're not using it. Also, you can quit or close an app by using this, or either this. Also, to close an app, you can just use the back button and it will close out. And it can also show you date and time. So Blackberry OS, there's not much to talk about. And folder stuff and stuff. Also, settings app is a little complicated for me, especially when I'm coming from Android. And I'm not exactly used to this kind of stuff. But it's pretty easy to get around. And also, shortcuts. Awesome. Also, the fact that these keys are backlit, I'm going to turn off the light. And that they're backlight is just really nice thing to have, especially at night. And let's talk about all the feature sets. No, I'm just not going to talk about the feature set. It's going to be way too long of a video on top of already long video. But Assistant is actually pretty useful. You can also say stuff like, how are you?
I'm doing great. Focused and motivated to help.
So you can do that. Also, you can set reminders.
What would you like to be reminded of?
You can voice command all of that. And I use that quite often. It's actually definitely quite useful, in my opinion. It's better than S voice. So yeah, there's that. And keyboard, let's talk about the keyboard. It's very, very nice. It's very, very clicky. Awesome. I love it. So let's talk about the basic stuff, because you're not going to use this as a media-centric device. Actually, photos, they're actually pretty good. Not sure about the quality right now, but this is a picture I took. It's actually pretty good. There's that, but I didn't take that much photos on this because I just don't think that it's really suited to take a photo like this. But actually, the photo quality is pretty good, even though with the relatively like high f-stop of f2.2, I believe. It can see pretty well in low light, and daylight, like on outdoors, is awesome camera with slightly bluish tint, but that's okay. Quality are excellent on Blackberry, like pretty much like as you expect. It's very, very clear. Also, speakers excellent, and the earphone jack is just clean. This is powerful speaker, and this is very clean headphone jack. I love that, and the audio is just home run. And the battery life is, like I said, okay. It's better than the Moto X even. Sorry about that. I'm kind of sad that you cannot see the screen on time, but whatever. It can last the whole day. If you hammer it like heavy browsing sessions and heavy like video watching or photo taking, you're probably gonna kill it in a day. But my usage, it was fine. And since I'm not watching videos on this thing, it lasted me all day, every day. So the overall verdict. Also, I forgot to show you the browser. Actually, some of you asked me. So let's go to the browser. You can also type on the home screen like this and get into an app. This feature that I use all the time. So browser. Oh, I don't know why I activated Picasor. Google.com. Come on. You're so buggy. You're not buggy. So feature set wise, it's probably close to like Chrome. You get like save page downloads, settings. Also, you can see private browsing, all kinds of things like that. It's awesome. And since Google Chrome is actually kind of unstable on here. And speaking of Google, actually, browser's pretty good. You can actually get a lot of Google stuff here, which is awesome. But one miss is that Google Play services aren't here. So if you're like heavy Google user like me, You're not gonna get YouTube. You're not gonna get Google Plus. You're not gonna get Google Keep. No Google Play, books, movies. That's kind of sad. Only thing available is Play Store. So you can download not a lot of Android apps. Like up here, it's like all Android apps. Keep BlackBerry stuff here. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But most of the stuffs I use, I have it all here, and they work okay. Facebook is awful here, but it's okay. Also, eBay is not bad, and every other apps are fine, but Google Apps just not good as of this date. So BlackBerry, if you're watching this, I'm in love with this device, but I would like it if it had Google Play services out of the box. So, okay, that's it. But Google Play Store works, just like Android. As you can see, it works. It works pretty well. So that's about it. So, in conclusion, should you buy this device? If you're a fan of BlackBerry, so people who should buy this device: BlackBerry fans, people who wants to study and don't want to get addicted by regular bar style smartphones like Android or iOS, since you're not gonna play any games on here. And third, text oriented people, you're gonna like the keyboard for sure, and also call oriented people, also work centric people, you're definitely gonna love this device. But everyone else need not apply, because you're gonna need to go over a lot of hassles to really get used to this device like I did. And if you're just avid Android fan or iOS fan or even Windows fan, you're gonna have hard time with this. But for me, it was a pretty good investment. Now it's also very, very cheap. It's like $159 or something on eBay, where it was supposed to be $499. So now the price is down and it's still an awesome device. And even though I'm late, I still love this device. In my opinion, it's a great device. But of course, you're gonna really have to look at BlackBerry OS and see if it's great and if it will really convince you to switch. Personally, I love this, especially when texting. It's awesome. So that's about it. That was the review of mine. This very stupidly long review of mine about the Blackberry Classic to show my thoughts. And this beautiful keyboard. You see, it's just gorgeous. Also, the trackpad works very well. That's about it. So, if you like this if you like this video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. And if you want more videos like this, definitely be sure to subscribe. And I'll give you more contents just like this one. So, until then, peace.